Welcome to Co-Parenting with Narcissist 101. I'm Kate. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining me. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to hit the bell so you know when I upload more videos. Guys, also like and share as well. Today, what is the difference between emotionally a healthy parent and a narcissist or toxic parents? What is the difference between emotionally healthy parents and a narcissist or a toxic parent? These people depend on what the words and the things. Of course, we should know by now that the two different things. The way they react to things and the way they process things are different as parents. So let's take one. An emotionally healthy parent listens to a kid to understand. The kid brings a situation to them, and they're listening to them. They listen to them to understand where they might have done something wrong, where they have they need correction, where they did something good, where they need some kind of great job. They're listening to understand that. They're listening to understand. They're listening to solve a problem. If there is any problem, they listen to the children. A toxic parent, on the other hand, a narcissistic parent, on the other hand, is listening to judge. They are listening to pick out what a kid did wrong. They might file that away, or they take that to tell them, how dare you? How should you? You couldn't have. Why couldn't you do this way? That's not how you're supposed to do that. They are listening to judge. They're not listening to solve a problem. They're not interested in any kind of resolution. Rather, they're taking things out from what the child is saying to use as fuel. They use that as supply to get the child to feel some type of way. So they listened to judge, not to resolve anything, not to understand what you're saying, not to process what you're saying. They're listening to pick out any kind of weakness, any kind of ammunition from your story to use against you. Is that right there? Or they use that on the kids later. An emotionally healthy parent will build up a child's confidence. Maybe you give a child a task and say, okay, here, do this. And, the kids are like, oh, I'm not even sure if I can do that or not. And you're like, oh, no, come on now. You're a big boy. You can handle this. Didn't you do this and that the other day? And, oh, this is similar to that. You can get this done. I trust you. I know you can handle it. Go ahead. Give it your best shot. That's an emotionally healthy parent. Now, a narcissistic parent, this is a time to tear the kid's confidence down, to tear down. While you build confidence over there with emotionally healthy person or parent, a narcissistic toxic parent will tear the confidence of the child down. This is where they make comments like, how can you not do something like this? Wasn't that Tommy, your friend over there, that did this and did that? I swear to God, you guys are you guys are going to turn out like your father did, or you turn out like your mother did. How do you do this and do that? I mean, this is where they go off. I'm sure you can't do that. After all, I mean, that's what your dad did. That's what your mom did. You can't handle something like this. How do I even expect you guys to handle something like this? This is where a narcissistic parent or toxic parent, this is exactly how they go off. They will take that opportunity to tear that kid down, tear the confidence down. And guess what? Of course, the kid is probability of them trying to do anything after that is nil. They have less interest in that. Of course, you tear the confidence down. And not to confuse this with trying to motivate a child, because that's not what this is. Because you pay attention to the words that they're using, they will tear that confidence down. They will attack them not having the ability to even try, because they're going to turn out like the other parent did, or turn out like the other friends did. Why can't you be more like this your friend and friend over there, So an emotionally healthy parent, of course, make the kid a priority. They're a priority. They're looking in any situation. They're like, okay, how do I resolve this, fix this with the kids before I can do this? Or, the kid is always, at the forefront of whatever. Because a parent, before you plan something, you can't just up and, I'm going to have a night out with some of my friends. No, usually you are like, okay, so let's see, I'm going to do, see if Sally's available to watch the kids, or let me see, they're going to take them to this person's house if they're available, and make sure that they can watch him or her, and like you plan all that out. You plan all that how all that will go, and what time you're leaving, what time you're coming back. Before you can even agree to go hang out with whoever it is you want to hang out with, with your friends. That's, you put all that thought in process. Now, a toxic parent or narcissistic parent is, the kid is usually an afterthought. and it's an afterthought for supply. So you have a mother that would not provide the basic necessities to the daughter or something like that in the house. But let's say they're throwing a parade outside for mothers and daughters or whatever it is in the neighborhood. They are the ones that would come out there, drag their daughter out there, slap a bow on her head or something, and be out there to get supply, to be out there to play the mother of the year, to be out there to like, oh, guess what? I have a daughter too. Look at how she is. But meanwhile, in the house, the kids don't have any major any basic thing that a daughter will need. They barely talk to the daughter in the house. They barely listen to. They probably don't know what the daughter might be going through or some, because they don't have time to listen and sit down and don't tell me your problems. I don't want to hear it. That's, you need to resolve that. The daughter can't even approach them while in the house, but outside, during that parade, then they put the bow on the head, the child's head, and come over there and like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. Why? Because they need them. They need them for supply. The children to the narcissist, the toxic parent is an afterthought. Is never a priority. And of course, with healthy parent, emotionally healthy parents, because you're emotionally healthy, there are boundaries. You respect your boundaries. You encourage your kids to have boundaries. There's a limit there. There's a line there. You don't cross here. This is your side. This, this is, I respect your boundary. You're supposed to have one. But a narcissist or toxic parent doesn't encourage that. You're not supposed to have boundaries at all. They want to be, they believe, you are just like they do with you. When you're a narcissist, you're an extension of themselves. So they view you as an extension. They view the kids as an extension of themselves. So that you're not allowed to have any boundaries. There's not supposed to be any line where they crisscross that as much as it feels, because that's, that is an extension of, they look at you that as there shouldn't be any division at all between us. So they don't respect boundaries. They don't encourage boundaries, obviously, because boundaries not going to work with how a narcissist, a toxic parent is programmed. You need not have boundaries around them, So you can't, this is another thing. If a child comes to the emotionally healthy parent, and maybe discuss a situation, discuss something they're going through, especially if they're growing kids, teenagers or something like that, and they discuss it with their emotionally healthy parent. And it stays there with emotionally healthy parent because, again, it's boundaries. You respect your kids' boundaries, you listen to your kids, and then depending on how sensitive the discussion is, you listen, and it stops there. You offer your solution or your suggestion or your opinion, because they approached you. And that is over there. That's what happens, and it's between the two of you guys. For narcissist or toxic parents, whatever you tell them as a child, it becomes the story of the whole neighborhood. They will talk about their children to other people. That's what they do. They will discuss you and your problem with the whole neighborhood. Everybody's like, guess what? And sometimes, most of the time, you are even around when they're talking about this. You become the topic of a discussion, the topic of a joke among among their friends or family members. Guess what? Guess what Kate said the other day about this? And then you are standing there like, oh my God, they're gonna talk about me, and this is something that was supposed to be probably in confidence. Obviously, you don't want to have that, but they have no qualms about it because they're getting supply of that. Because people are listening, they're like, either they're laughing about it, as they're the ones telling the joke, they feel themselves the comedian, or they're like, oh wow, because they're telling them, so I told her to do this and do this. They get some kind of supply from that being that they offer suggestion and all that stuff. So they'll discuss a child's with other people, child's problem. They discuss their children with other people. An emotionally healthy parent is always separating themselves away from, stepping outside of themselves to, listen to the child, take care of the child, be aware of the child. A toxic parent, a narcissistic parent is never that. They cannot get themselves away from themselves to care for anything else. They cannot get themselves away from themselves to look beyond that, to now say, oh, I see you. So a narcissistic parent, toxic parents, they provide accommodation or whatever, shelter for the child. But that is usually where that stops. You know, they don't. There's no emotional connection, just like it is with you. There's no. It doesn't go beyond that. If anytime they're coming over there to listen to you in quote or talk to you, in quote, is an agenda. They're trying to get the supply, because to a narcissistic parent, the kids are just that at supply. They needed the supply. They are props that use when they're needed, and that is not that is complete opposite an emotionally healthy parent. So guys, you know the differences. You obviously where they live with a narcissist, and you see this every day in different things, So you obviously do the best you can, and as the emotionally healthy parent, trying to be all your function. That's what we're going to be. You be all you can be with the children, because it's not going to come from the narcissist side. It's not going to come from the toxic parent side. It all falls on you. We are holding the bag at both ends, guys. All right. Get a hold of your mind. Get a hold of your mind, and everything else will fall into place. Please like and share and subscribe. Take care.